It always sounds really good to hear other people introduce you and hear their perspective on you. But thank you so much. I feel the same about Ginny Swisher. You guys are clearly incredibly blessed to have her as your fearless leader. And I am honored, just as honored to have her as my friend and, a success partner in this wild and crazy Beachbody business, and this business would not be fun if it weren't for people, like us who are spending time together at 8:30 at night. I mean, I know I was just like rushing to get my kids where they needed to go and like bathe them and like, come on now, let's do it, everybody. But I finally had to give up on my son and he's just downstairs reading. So I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen. So you guys can probably relate to that. But yeah, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background. I mean, some of you know my story, while others of you might not know, but I am a former teacher. I taught for 6 years and I am a full-time girl boss, and it has been the greatest blessing and it has been the biggest accident. And I say that because it was not like part of my plan. It was just something that, like, as I was exposed to Beachbody and as I became, really like obsessed with helping people, it turned into kind of like this life of its own. So when I signed up as a Beachbody coach, it was not like it was for the business opportunity. It was strictly to get a discount. And, a little bit about my story, I like this picture here on the left because I showed my daughter this slide as I was kind of preparing for this. And she said, "Who is that?" She did not even recognize that was me on the left-hand side. And really, I look at that and I'm like, I know it's me, but to me, it doesn't look like me. And that was on my graduation day from college. And I put myself through college. I had to pay for college myself. From the time I was 14 years old, I worked full-time. Well, not full-time, but I always had a job and I worked all the time. But I also was an athlete, but I had very low self-esteem growing up because I grew up in Carmel. And not that like living in Carmel automatically means you have a low self-esteem, but I did have a very low self-esteem because like I live like in the only apartment complex in Carmel, and I just felt kind of like an outsider because everybody else had like all these, things and got cars when they turned 16 and I didn't. Like I had to work. I mean, I still played sports and stuff, but I had a low self-esteem and I endured some things as a child that kind of led me to that. But I am very proud to say that I have overcome a lot of my self-esteem issues and a lot of my confidence issues. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a leader. I'm proud to say that I'm a leader. And I want you guys to think about during this call. I think sometimes, we put this idea of leadership on a pedestal and we say that, okay, well, a leader is of this rank or a leader is of that rank. But let me just tell you that the moment you signed up as a coach, you became a leader. The moment you sold your first Shakeology HD order or, PYO fitness program, you became a leader because you were showing people how to obtain, health and wellness and fitness, and people were watching you and following you. So automatically you became a leader at that point in time, whether you recognized it or not. Okay. And so, we've got to embrace the fact that we're leaders. We have to embrace the fact that we are leading this movement of health and wellness, and we have to be incredibly proud and honored to be marching together. So I am a former doubter turned believer. And a lot of this stuff that I've kind of learned to overcome in my lifetime has been an ongoing process. It's not like, you just wake up one day and you say like, I'm awesome, I am the bomb. I mean, it takes time, it takes time. I mean, but I was very much an underdog growing up. And so I feel like very much like that, the success that I've been able to have and the personal growth plan that I've been on has all kind of brought me to this place. And I want to share with you guys about this creating confidence and this whole idea of being a confident Beachbody coach, because it's very much a combination of things. We have 3 different kind of components of confidence that I want to talk to you guys about. We have self-confidence. And I think that's automatically what most of us kind of just go towards is, if you ask somebody what confidence means, a lot of times they'll say like, oh, it's how you feel about yourself. It's, your self-esteem and that sort of thing. And yes, it is that. But when we talk about having confidence in Beachbody, it's also having confidence in Body Electric. It's also having confidence in, the systems that are in place and the fact that your team is this amazing community of positive, like-minded people that are in it to win it, to help each other. And then, also having confidence in the business, and then ultimately inviting and doing those vital behaviors that you are really kind of putting that confidence on display. So let's chat about this whole idea of self-confidence. So if you guys caught the Summer Tucker, which I highly recommend if you haven't listened to the Wake Up Call, which I'm sure you guys all have, but Summer Tucker did a Wake Up Call not too long ago, and she talked about how she like had this like game-changing moment as she was just going about her everyday life, and something she had looked at her whole life she came across, and if for whatever reason just hit her differently that day. And you know, she went on to talk about how you know, this business, you know, isn't a secret, and all of the secrets to success are available to you, especially being, you know, on Body Electric and, you know, being on my team, Soul Fit Nation. I mean, we very much share everything. I mean, I know you guys do, you know, challenge groups together, and you do, you know, book clubs, and you do masterminds, and you guys are very much involved in each other's lives and have, you know, a hand in the success of others. And you feel like when one succeeds, you all succeed, right? So what I want you guys to kind of think about with this is, you know, there's 4 different kind of pieces to the pie. The products. Okay, we all have access to the same products. You know, we all have access right now to the 21-day fix, the 21-day fix extreme, you know, the Body Beast challenge pack. We all have the same promotions going on. I mean, sometimes we can offer different incentives and that sort of thing, but at the baseline, we all have the same products. We all have access to the same training. You know, everybody on Body Electric has access to the same training, whether it's your new coach onboarding system, or, you know, the welcome letters, and all these kind of different pieces where you guys can feel so super confident about bringing somebody on board. And for those people who might not have a fantastic team like you guys have, you also have the Coach Online Office, which has fantastic training tools there as well. So like when in doubt, a person can go to the Coach Online Office and they can very easily find that, oh, I'm a coach, and oh, these are the things I need to be working on as a coach, and oh, I want to move my business to Emerald. Okay, boom, 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 you know, it's all there. So we all have the same access to, you know, training. We all have same access to, you know, resources like, you know, Super Saturday, or, you know, the Lewis House event where you can go and, you know, get your PD on and that sort of thing. We all have access to the same resources. The only thing that is the piece that is different is you. And what I hope that you guys get from our talk tonight is that you are you for a reason, and you are the only you on this planet of over 7 billion people. And you have things and gifts that you haven't even scratched the surface of. And if you can really just sit and understand the power that you have within you, and the power that if you over time, you know, purposely work and you create this confidence about yourself and you find your authenticity, this business will make every single one of your dreams come true. But at the end of the day, there's only 25% differentiation among all of us. And that is that you factor. And so for me, over my course of the past 3 years, because I've been a coach for 3 years, and for the first year, I was a really happy Emerald. I was an Emerald for a year. I still can't believe it when I talk to my team about it. I'm like, yeah, the word coach was like a cuss word, like in my language. Like I never said coach because I was like, oh my gosh, like then I'm going to have to like explain what coach means. And then like, I'm going to sound really selfish, because what I was doing when I first signed up, and maybe you guys can relate to this, but I was thinking about, well, if I sign that person up, what's that going to do for me? Like if I sign one coach up and then a second coach, that's going to make me Emerald. Rather than thinking, okay, if I sign these people up and give them, you know, this opportunity to grow a business, or to have their Shakeology at a discount, or to be exposed to these amazing, you know, people that I have the pleasure of working on my team with, I wasn't thinking of it from their perspective. So if you are having a hard time, you know, sharing the business opportunity with others, or, you know, having that conversation, think about it from their perspective. Think about what Beachbody has blessed you with. Think about these friends and these amazing people that you get to spend your time with, and you choose to spend your time with, and who have all collectively made you so much of a better person. That's what I think about a lot of times when I invite to my sneak peeks or invite to the business opportunity, because at the end of the day, Beachbody has blessed us in ways we cannot even really put into words. And why are we keeping that to ourselves? Why are we not shouting that from the rooftop? The moment you become okay with the fact that like this is a blessing and all we're doing is simply paying it forward to others, that is the moment when your business will transform. And you will leave the world of being a rock star challenge group coach to a rock star coach of coaches who is running a team like Body Electric, like Soul Fit Nation, like the Dream Team, like the Fit Fighter Nation, like whatever your team name is that you've come up with in your heart, that team is yours for the taking. So embracing your authenticity, this is one of those funny words. A lot of us say like, I want to be authentic, or, what does authenticity mean, or how can we be our more authentic self? And it does kind of go hand in hand with confidence, because we need to recognize that we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people. We have to stop looking at our journey and say, well, she did that in X amount of time, or she just signed up as a coach like 6 months ago, and now she has been able to advance her business to diamond or 1-star or whatever the case may be. We have to let go of that, because I promise you, we take a look at everybody who's on this call. Hang on one quick second. Can you please close the door and go back and read your book? Okay, well then go play your Legos, okay? Okay, I love you. I love you. Bye. Okay. Sure. Okay. Parenting 101. If your kid asks you to play on their iPad while you're on a team call, you just say yes. Okay. Anyway, so sorry about that, but interruption from the little ones. But yeah, I mean, I think comparison is definitely one of those things that can really quickly knock us down, especially when we're comparing rank, or we're comparing, how quickly a person has grown their business, or this amount of success. The truth is what we see is very little of what is truly going on in that person's life. And I know that Jenny and I, at Leadership, we really valued the fact that like Anita Myron and Becky Brosette and Amy Silverman got up there in the very first opening session. The first thing they did was really break down and just show their authentic self and share with us that, listen, we might have $1 million company. We might have, we might be superstar diamond coaches, but we're still people. And that really kept it real for me, because I think that we can so quickly get obsessed about that next goal, or get obsessed about working towards something continually, that we don't stop to just appreciate how far we've come. I mean, I know I was talking to Tara the other day, and whenever I'm around her, I'm so inspired, because I think about her journey, and that's what people are thinking about when they have the opportunity to work with us, is they see the big picture, but a lot of times we sell ourselves short, and we're only focused on that here and the now and the future, that we forget how far we've come. I mean, even Jenny, I mean, her story is so inspiring to me too, because I mean, she was dealing with some serious health crisis situations that could really knock a person flat on their back, and she was able to overcome it. But sometimes when we're having hard times with our business, it's easy for us to forget how far we've come. So I constantly have to remind myself, okay, Erika, like today was a really busy day for me. And, managing a team of like 500 people, I mean, that's a lot, and it's like, some days you're like, do I have it in me? Do I really have it in me? And then I'm still out here trying to inspire and be the mom and still deal with, life situations and stuff. And, I have to stop and I have to say to myself, these are good problems to have. It's a good problem that I have a box of, 100 sweatshirts that I have to somehow distribute to my team, and that's a good problem to have. It might be somewhat bothersome and a lot of work, but it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, so you have to set your intentions, and you have to give yourself some grace, and you have to treat yourself as if you would treat a friend. And, at the end of the day, unless you're using comparison to motivate you and inspire you to move forward, comparison has no place in this business, you guys, because it's going to derail you. It's going to knock you down. It's going to take your eyes off the prize, which you are the only one who knows the direction, that you're moving. You've set your goals, you've set your intentions, and you know the amount of work you're putting in on a regular basis. And so it's all in your hands. So taking your eyes off that prize and comparing yourself with the next person is not going to get you anywhere. So if you are your authentic self, you have no competition. Isn't that fantastic? You don't have to worry what everybody else is doing. Just be you. Be true, be real, be genuine, stick to your morals and values. And in this business, sometimes you'll see some people doing some dirty stuff. And you're like, really? Like, how has that person been able to thrive in this business with their practices? You can't worry about that. You cannot give any energy to that. At the end of the day, this business is about heart and it's about soul. And if your soul and your heart is connected to somebody else and they are connected to you, then that's what it's about. And it's that person's right to choose who they work with. And so let's make sure that we are putting our very best self out there on a regular basis, because people will be drawn to you just like a magnet. Jenny and I talk all the time how we have people sometimes from other people's teams that are like, we wish we were on your team. And we're like, yeah, I wish you were on my team too, but you're not. And, I always encourage people to shop around, like not people that I'm directly working with, but people who ask me questions about Beachbody who might know a variety of Beachbody coaches. I'm like, there's some incredible teams here, but you got to find what's best for you, because on some teams you're going to get a lot of support and on other teams you're not. And I know for me, I need a lot of support. And I know there's a lot of hardworking women on this phone, on this call right now, who work full time, who any support that we can get, we're going to take, right? So, and that's the really exciting thing about Body Electric. I mean, you guys have a wonderful team. So authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. I will tell you that when I was transitioning from my job change, when I decided that I was going to do a career exploration leave, people are really funny with their opinions, because they think that like their opinion matters to me. And the truth is that I had already decided that this was happening. I'd already made sure, the money situation was already handled, the insurance, the talking through, with my partner, and like every piece of it was already handled. And all I needed to do was just kind of go through the motions and continue to work really hard. But be prepared. If any of you guys are thinking down the line that you might, do your Beachbody business full time, be confident in that decision, because let me just tell you that this kind of a business, the more time you put into it, the more you get out of it. It's directly related to how much energy and effort you're going to put into it. And I think you guys can appreciate that, especially you girls who were on the team cut team, and you guys got 8th place. You guys worked your tails off for that. And you were probably, blessed with your business because of that. But when you decide to change and work your business full time, you're giving it more time, and therefore it's going to reward you greater than it does when you're just working in an hour a day. But I built my business working an hour a day, guys. I woke up at 4 a.m. It didn't start at 4 a.m. It started at like 5, and I was like, oh, I'm waking up at 5. Like, wow, that's early, and then I kind of took it in increments. I didn't jump from 5 to 4. I kind of was like, okay, well, I think an extra 5 minutes might be really helpful. But what I started to do, and especially people who are like teachers or who wake up really early, and how I really built my business was like a morning motivation. Like every day I would do like a morning motivation. And I think built my audience based off of that, because for the first 1.5 to 2 years I was in the business and working my business full time while I was teaching, that's what I did every day. So people got really used to like Erika's morning motivation. And that is something that you guys could do first thing in the morning for those of you who are up really early, because people really appreciate that. And then they start to recognize that you're going to be somebody who's going to give that inspiration every single morning at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. And that was how I built my business early on. Now, I wish if I had to go back and do it again, I wish I, again, was more confident with the coaching piece early on, because I think about like, had I had coaching conversations early on, there's no telling, where we would be today. But that was my path. And I'm totally cool with the fact that I was an emerald for a year. Just like Jenny, I'm sure is totally cool with the fact that like she was a diamond for the amount, or 1 star, the amount of time that she was, because it prepped her for the leader that she is today and the successes that she has to come. And so don't ever get caught up on what you haven't done so far. What you need to look at is how much you've grown during your experience as a Beachbody coach or in a challenge group or whatever, and during your entire journey, and let yourself just embrace your journey and your path, and look to tomorrow to see how you can maybe make small changes. But don't try to do every single thing at once, because you're going to find that you're not going to be able to do everything at once, because you have to take little bite-sized nuggets if you're going to make changes or make, daily habits. You've got to take them in segments. It cannot be just this complete overhaul, because that never works. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the You Are a Badass book, but this book is like my Bible. Okay. I love it so much. In fact, I'm like reading it over again, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend this for everyone. I mean, I recommend it to new coaches. I recommend it to coaches who feel like they've lost their mojo or just need a little boost. I recommend it to anybody, because it's that good. So get that on your list. So, confidence is something that every single day we have to make a choice about this. Okay. Every single day. And I just listened to a Joel Osteen. I love Joel Osteen. So if you guys are looking for a new podcast, definitely put him on your list. I also love listening to the Beachbody podcast. I go back to last year's summits presentations and listen to those over and over and over again, even though I was there live for a lot of them. So they have the 2014 summit presentations on that Team Beachbody app. But I really love Joel Osteen because he has this specific sermon. It's called I Am. And basically, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but basically he talks about how we have to be very careful about the I Ams that we use about ourselves. Like instead of waking up in the morning and I am tired, or, I am exhausted, or whatever, we need to wake up and we need to say, I feel good. I am ready for this day. I am confident. I am beautiful. I am amazing. And we have to start using I ams about ourselves in a positive way, because that does set the tone. And so like every day you have to wake up on that mission and know that that day is bringing you one step closer to your goals. And whatever you're thinking about is going to expand. So if you're thinking about negative, if you're thinking, I'm not going to hit Success Club, I'm not going to hit Diamond, I'm not going to, sign up this person, I'm not going to be able to, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to do any of those things, because you've just put it into the universe. You just set it in motion. So what you have to do is you have to shift your thinking. You have to say, I am a diamond. I am a star diamond. I am a 5-star elite coach. I am going to sign up 3 new coaches this month. I am confident, and I am deserving. And I am a coach that others are attracted to. And you know what? Before you know it, you're going to find that exactly what you put out into the universe is what you're going to receive. And that's the law of attraction. And I love the law of attraction because it's worked in my life. Because I found that when I was the old me, who was kind of just like in this rut of just kind of not feeling like a real person, focused on the wrong things. But the new me, the person that you guys know, focuses on the right things. And let me just tell you that I have moments when I go into a deep, dark place. I have life experiences that drag me down too. But you know what I do? I put on a podcast. I put on Joel Osteen. I love if you go to YouTube and you search inspirational music and you play that music while you're working, you'll find a shift. You have to control what's in between your ears. I heard this at leadership. You have to control what goes on in between your ears, your mind. Because if you let the wrong things, the wrong noise, the wrong voices into your head, you're going to find yourself on a bad path. Okay. So we have to focus on the good, and we have to recognize that God gave us this dream because we are capable of accomplishing it. Now, that's not to say you have to know exactly how this turn and this detour and this street and this path. No, that's exactly wrong. You don't want to take that approach. You want to just put your dream out there, let your dream be. Think about it every single day and do something every single day that's going to bring you closer to it. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. When I decided I wanted to leave teaching, I had no clue how it was going to happen. Because first of all, I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband will freak. And he did. He totally flipped out on me when I first brought it to him. But you know what? I said, I deserve to be that mom who is home and able to see my daughter off to kindergarten. And I deserve that, and one time, a funny story, I was at a barbecue or something this summer, and one of my friends, she goes, oh yeah, well now that you don't work anymore. And I was like, oh really? Time out. First of all, I do work. Thank you very much. I work very hard, but I guess I work in a non-traditional way. I do work from home. I do enjoy some amazing freedoms. I am so incredibly satisfied. And when you get the opportunity to do your passion every single day, it really doesn't seem like work. But it was just funny that she's like, oh, and now that you don't work. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, no. But So let your dream be. You don't have to know how your dream is going to be accomplished. When Jenny and I said we're going to be 5-star diamond elite coaches this year, we're like, oh, okay, like, I guess we're going to do it. Now we said it. So now we have to, then we might backwards design, and then we might kind of get to the nitty gritty of it. But when you first put your dream out there, you're not supposed to know how it's going to end. You're not supposed to know how it's going to be accomplished, because if you did, you would have already accomplished it, right? So you just have to put it out there, and you have to go for it. And you have to be your own best friend, guys. You cannot say things to yourself that you would not say to your friend. You have to talk yourself out of that, because that is an ugly, ugly game that you do not want to get in with yourself. So be your own best friend. Stop self-sabotaging. You are worthy of these things. You are capable. You can do this every single day. That has to be your mindset. So these are some of my kind of like tips on strengthening your self-confidence. Like I said before, you stop comparing yourself to others. You work hard and you are patient. I am the most impatient person on the planet. I mean, I'm just going to come right out and say it. And it causes me a lot of stress, because I want things now, and I want an answer now. And I want, I want to know exactly what's going to happen next. I'm very futuristic. I like to think ahead. I like to have a game plan. I'm not spontaneous. I need to be more spontaneous. But we have to be patient with this business, you guys. I mean, I think back 3 years. 3 years is nothing. It seems like very little time, but the most time in the world all at the same time. But 3 years, guys, I mean, and then I think about the fact that when I put my dream in motion, and when I actually took my leave and put it in writing a year ago, that was only 2 years in the business. That's like an associate's degree, like that's nothing. The time is going to pass anyway. So keep doing what you're doing. Be patient, and hit your Success Club every single month, non-negotiable. Mine is Success Club 10. And I tell all of my striving leaders, if you want to be successful, Success Club 10. But if you fall short, Success Club 5. Hey, that's fantastic too. But we have to teach our coaches as they sign up that Success Club 5 is non-negotiable. Those people who want to work the business, it's non-negotiable. And if you hit Success Club every single month, you sign up 2 to 4 coaches every single month. It's okay if they're discount member coach. You got to know when to say that word too. You got to know when to say discount member and when to say coach. Because I can tell you right now, if I said coach to some of the people that I've had sign up recently, they would have turned and ran away. But if I say, would you like to be a discount member? That changes everything, because that's speaking their language. You cannot use that coach word with everybody. Just like you can't use challenge group with everybody, because the word challenge, means hard, difficult. Sometimes that's scary to people. So why don't we say fitness support group, or to kind of change our language a little bit? Love yourself. Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. We did a strengths finder book and assessment on my team, and it was brilliant, because you could really see what we knew about the people on our team. We saw their strengths like on paper, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's so true. You are so not an activator. You are so not, an executive. I mean, it's just interesting to see how our strengths really work together. But the thing about it is you guys have a team of so many successful people and amazing people with all different strengths. So focus on your strengths. Don't focus on your weaknesses. Control the controllable. Do not obsess over the person who says no. You bless them and you release them. You don't burn any bridge. You know that person's going to be right back around the block in a couple months. They are. So blow them a kiss and keep inspiring them, because they will come back around. So you have to recognize that you've got to put your energy, and especially those of you who are working full time, you have to put your energy on the things you can control. You can control if you drink your Shakeology. You can control if you post a sweaty selfie. You can control if you are doing PD. You can control if you're doing business development too. If you need help on social media, Instagram, building your like page, guess what? Teach yourself, learn, find somebody who knows what they're talking about, and learn more about it. It's your prerogative. It's your business. You've got to be an advocate for yourself and what it is that you need to focus on. But you've got to control the controllable. You got to look for the good things in everything, see the lessons. Being positive is a choice. We all know that, right? We all know that we get to decide how we are each and every day. We get to control the energy that we bring into each and every room. So let's make it positive and live in this constant state of gratitude. I mean, the ability, I mean, just look at this team, you guys. Look at the faces of the people that you get to share your life with. I mean, think about, you know, Ginny and Chris's event this weekend and how amazing it is just to be surrounded by people who genuinely care for each other, people who are genuinely rooting each other on and like, yes, girl, you did it. You know, I mean, that is incredible. This business is a blessing, you guys. It is a blessing that other people have to know about. They have to know about this. Why are we keeping it to ourselves? Why are we not sharing this with every single person? Because this business, even just Beachbody and Shakeology alone, has blessed my life in so many ways. I can't even begin to explain how it's blessed my life. But living in that constant state of gratitude where you look and you say, oh my gosh, I get to do that, or I get to do this, or oh my gosh, look at the people I get to spend my time with. I get to be on this team call tonight. That's a blessing. So thank you, Ginny, for allowing me to get to be on this team call tonight. Keep a list of your proudest moments. Now, this is something I've done for a couple years. I have like so many funny things. I'm looking at my phone. I'm going to share my list with you. But you know, my proudest moments, I just keep a running list of my proudest moments. So like, you know, you lost that first 10 pounds in your challenge group. Maybe you lost the 15, maybe you lost some inches, maybe you completed the ultimate reset. I know for me that was a huge Girl Scout badge because I was like, man, that was hard. You know, my proud moments obviously are being a mom and having 2 C-sections, because I'll tell you what, when they told me I was going to have that number 1 C-section, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, what, you know, I mean, and so like those were proud moments for me. And then obviously being able to leave and to be able, that first person who said thank you. I mean, we all have so many proud moments. So stop and think about those moments that you felt really proud of yourself and keep a list of them. And when you're feeling down in the dumps, or you're waking up and you're like, oh Lordy, how am I going to do this again? Especially if you're going and giving 8 hours of your day to a job that isn't exactly fulfilling you any longer. Look at your proudest moments, as long, you know, right alongside of your dreams. Look at your dreams and your goals, but also look at your proudest moments so that you can be in that constant state of gratitude. Okay, I'm going to try to bust a move here. So let's talk about confidence in your team. I don't think I have to talk too much about this with you guys, because I think that Body Electric exudes confidence. But I think for new coaches, it's important that we are very specific about teaching them how to be confident. You know, they need to feel confident that the moment they step on board with you, they are going to be surrounded by the most amazing people. There's going to be training for every level. You know, if they signed up just as, you know, a discount member coach, that's fantastic too. Good for them. They're saving money. They get to get themselves healthy. And at the very least, at the end of the day, if they're only helping one person improve their life, which is themselves, that's still a blessing. You've still done a fantastic job with helping that person. But whatever a person wants, if they want to sign up as a discount coach or a hobby coach or a career coach, you guys have them covered. That's a really great place to be. Because I can tell you that when Jenny and I signed up with this business, however many years ago, we did not have that. We did not have that. We had to create that. And that was painstaking. It's painstaking. It was all worth it. And every bit of, you know, sweat and blood and tears that we put into it was worth it. But it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of effort. And so feel like blessed that this has already been done for you. You know, the new coach onboarding process, I know you guys have a fantastic new coach onboarding process and training. Leadership opportunities. You know, I guarantee you go up to Jenny and you say, hey, I want to lead this, or I want to help with this training, I want to help with that, or I want to lead a call, or I want to do a master. She's going to be like, okay, bring it on. You know, any person can be whatever level of leader they want to be. Co-coaching groups, I know you guys do a great job of that, but the systems in place, the community, the family, you know, the camaraderie, the fact that we are surrounded by positive, uplifting people. Surround yourself with lifters. That's how you become a successful person, is you surround yourself with people who lift you up. You stay away from the hackers. Those who are hacking at your ankles, just trying to knock you down. You got to run from those, run fast from those, and surround yourself with lifters. And your team is full of lifters. So have confidence in that. So on the days maybe you're struggling with your own self-confidence, dive into your team and let your team build you up. And you'll find that soon that's going to help fill your own personal bucket as well. So have confidence in your team, because your team rocks. Confidence in this business. I mean, do I really have to talk about this? But yes, I will. Beachbody is the most incredible company in the entire world. I mean, Jenny and I just were treated like absolute celebrities at leadership. And that's exactly how it was at the NLC. So for those of you who have your heart set on the NLC, keep it there, keep it in the driver's seat, and work your butt off for it. Because let me tell you, I went to the NLC in January. That was after I put in for my career exploration. I went to the NLC a 2-star, and now I'm a 7-star. I mean, so that's 5 diamonds that I helped, build their businesses in less than a year. And the NLC was definitely a catalyst that helped move my business. And if it's not the NLC, then make it leadership next year. And if it's not leadership next, don't put yourself in a box. Let yourself be where you are today, but let yourself have dreams and work towards your dreams. And don't think that your dreams are too big, because I can tell you right now that if somebody would have told me 3 years ago when I signed up as a coach that I would be quitting my full-time teaching job at a district, the best district in the state, working alongside the most amazing people like Chris Swisher and Natalie Johnson and Aaron Young, I would have laughed in their face. I would have said, you need to stop, you were on drugs, because I never would have believed it. But you guys, I put my dream in the universe and I worked for it, and there's no secrets. This business is a blessing. And the thing about it is I was talking to my team last night, and there was 7 product launches in the past year, where most companies are lucky to get 1 good product out. We got 7 phenomenal products out, and Beachbody is not slowing down. I mean, we are the #1 health and fitness wellness company in the nation. We have the number 4, the top 4 infomercials. I mean, Beachbody has us covered, guys. When I signed up to drink Shakeology, I did not know what the hell Shakeology was, but I'll tell you what I did know about Insanity and P90X. That's all Aaron had to say to me. Oh, it's by the makers of Insanity, P90X. I was like, oh, okay. I know who Shanti is. So bring on the slim fast wannabe. No, I'm kidding. But I really did when she was telling about Shakeology, I was like, and how is this different than slim fast? I was completely grossly underinformed of what Shakeology was. I quickly realized the difference. After 4 days, I was like, oh my gosh, this is I've never done crack, but I'm guessing this is what crack would be like. Gotta have it. But I mean, I was hooked on Shakeology, and I'm just so in love with that. But Beachbody has us covered, you guys. They do a lot of the marketing for us. They keep putting out these phenomenal products. They're constantly changing. I don't know if you guys have taken a peek at Turbo lately, Turbo Fire, or the Brazilian butt lift, or some of the programs that had come out right when I kind of started coaching, and you're like, oh my gosh, those are so old. I mean, they're like dinosaurs. It's totally different, the type of feel that you get when you put on a newer, Insanity Max 30 or something. We're constantly changing and evolving, and this company is phenomenal. And we have something that other companies don't, and that's fitness, nutrition, and support. There's other fitness companies out there, there's nutrition companies out there. We all know those nutrition, network marketing people, but there's no other company like Beachbody that offers fitness, nutrition, and support. And then to throw in there the business opportunity, like Vito said, and we have the cure for obesity, we have the cure for malnourishment, but we also have the cure for being broke and unhappy. You put that together, and oh my gosh, you guys, it's life-changing. There's no secrets to success, especially not on your team, especially not on my team. We will tell you exactly what you need to do to build your business, exactly how we've done it. It's the process of duplication. The goal is you want to find people like you. You want to find just a couple people that are like you, that have the same passion for this business, who want to work. And once you find those people, you guys, you just go. You wrap your arms around each other, and you just walk, and you fulfill your dreams. There's unlimited blessings. One other thing I want to tell you about the comparison piece, and then I will open it up to questions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to kind of get those ready. But, I found early on in the business, as I was kind of falling into the trap of comparing myself with others. And, I started thinking about this philosophy, and something in my PD, brought this to my mindset. But, God is so good, and there's so many blessings. I mean, blessings are unlimited. And so how dare we look at what somebody else has been blessed with and what they've been able to accomplish and be envious? We have to look at, there's an abundance of blessings. One person being blessed and having success in this business does not take away from our blessings and our success in this business. So we have to cheer them on, and we have to say, congratulations, I'm so happy for you, and mean it. And just know that yours is coming, and that if you keep working hard, you put your nose down and you work your butt off, and you meet those daily goals, you do your hour of business every day, you make that a non-negotiable, you hit those monthly milestones, you hit Success Club 5 at the minimum. You add 2 to 4 coaches, per month, whether they're wanting to build the business or be a discount member or whatever. You run a challenge group every single month and you work on yourself. And I promise you, you will have the most enriched life because of this Beachbody blessing. So that is what I have to say about that, you guys. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I included everything. Confidence in inviting. Would you guys like me to talk about this at all? Let me see where I'm at. Where am I at here? Okay. Oh, we only have 3 minutes. So this is how I invite. I honestly do pray before I invite, and I just ask that, the right people be brought into my path and the right, conversations be had, and that my message be received in the right way, because by no means do I want anybody to feel, I used to in the beginning feel like, oh my gosh, are they going to think that I think they're unhealthy? But no, I had to change my mindset and say, you know what, this is a blessing. Erin blessed me when she asked me to join her fitness support group, and I'm blessing them. And I'm just putting them in a state to be able to say yes or no. And that's it. I'm letting them decide. It's not my place to decide if they need this. It's theirs. I just have to put that opportunity out there. And then sometimes doing PD before you invite is helpful. You want to invite as if you have something amazing to offer, because you do. You do. Health, fitness, friendship, support, the ability to earn money, changing lives, working with amazing people, having this sisterhood of the most amazing, and brotherhood too. I don't want to leave Chris out, but of amazing people. I mean, that is your family. I mean, this is the family we get to pick. We get to say, I want to work with you. I want to work with you, and tell someone, I would love to work with you. You are the exact kind of person I want on my team. That's the approach I took to invite to my sneak peek this time around. And I have 10 people in the sneak peek, because I just told them, you're positive, you're inspiring. I would love to have you on my team. Come check it out. Got it. Also, don't over-inform. Do not give them word vomit. They don't need that. Do not tell them how much it costs. Do not even tell them what fitness program you're doing. Don't even say anything about Shakeology. Just say, hey girl, was just thinking of you. Wanted to let you know I am in the process of creating my next fitness support group. Together we're going to work on our fitness. We're going to clean up our eating. We're going to have a blast. Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? Send, done. Follow up and continual conversation is key. An approach that my team uses that works phenomenally, and then I will open up for questions, is the jab, 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 hook approach. Those jabs are your healthy lifestyle. Those jabs are your sweaty selfie. Those jabs are you spotlighting somebody in your challenge group. It's you spotlighting the fact that you've been able to take your family on vacation because of the Beachbody opportunity. I'm able to sit in my dream office and talk to you guys because of the Beachbody blessing. Those are jabs. Your hook is the invite. Hey, I'm doing a challenge group, or hey, I'm doing a, sneak peek into coaching. That's your hook. You don't want to go hook, 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 hook. That's never going to work. You want to go jab, 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 and then a hook. Okay. So you want to share at least 4 jabs to that one hook if you want to keep yourself balanced. All right, you guys. So that is what I have for you. And hopefully I didn't talk too crazy fast, and hopefully you got something out of it. Again, you didn't have to take every little bit and piece of it, but if hopefully you got 1 to 2 nuggets, then that makes me really happy. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erika. You rock.
Oh gosh, thank you.
So do you have a couple minutes to take a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Okay. So if you have a question, let's just do it this way, because I have a feeling I've been getting some messages from people asking if they can ask questions. So I think we'll have a few. So since we have a few, let's, if you don't mind sending them in the chat. So typing them out in the chat, I'll try to keep up with them. We'll answer as many as we can, maybe just here a few minutes. Once we get past maybe 7 or 8 minutes from now, if we have more questions, then we can always send them to Erika. Maybe she can just write something up for us.
For sure.
So shoot. Go ahead and shoot them toward us.
Bring it on.
Don't you think she sounds National Wake Up Call worthy? You did great, my friend.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Hey, on a total side note, and I realize this is recording, but I don't care. I looked everywhere for that sparkling wine today, and I couldn't find it. Where'd you say you get it?
Oh, okay. So I actually got that at Fresh Time on Cary Road.
Okay.
But they actually have it at Oliver Winery. So it's an Oliver Winery.
Yeah.
One part of their line.
Yeah.
And the only place that I had actually seen it was at that Fresh Time, but I did actually have it when I went to Oliver Winery. Okay. So, but yeah, the one on Cary Road. So I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah, that's close to me. So
yeah.
Okay, here we go. First question: how do I get over feeling like they will think I'm only sharing because I have something to sell?
Because that's not why you're sharing. You're sharing because this opportunity has changed your life and it has blessed you. If you come from a place of help in everything that you do, you know what this has done for, just look at the people on this call. You know what Shakeology has done for the people on this call. You know the stories of your team, you know the stories of your challengers, you know the story of the people that you know, spend your time with at Super Saturday. You don't need somebody to tell you that this is a blessing. But what you do have to do is you have to always come from a place of help, and you cannot worry about somebody thinking you're just trying to sell something to them. Because if you say, this has blessed me and all I'm trying to do is bless others. Once I shifted my mindset, I promise you, I've never had somebody come at me like in that way before. Since I shifted it. Now before, I feel like I did have some of that resistance, but I got over it because I'm like, listen, I really do just want to help people. And if it's not your time to receive help, that's totally fine, because someday it will be. And I hope that you come to me. I mean, I don't say that to people, you know, at the end, but that's what I put in my heart. So I don't worry about how I'm perceived by others, guys. I really don't. I know that I have good intentions, and I know that this is a blessing, and that's really all that I need, you know? And it's just as much about my journey and what it's done for me and my family. And I see the success stories in my family, you know, where I have loved ones and relatives who've gone off of medication. And I'm like, that's the only proof that I need, you know? It's much like when you're recommending like a restaurant or like a movie, you know, you're just making a recommendation of something that you love and something that's worked for you. And I think that we overcomplicate it sometimes when we worry about how our message is going to be received rather than just getting the message out there.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay. Next question. Do you credit personal development for your growth and confidence, or are there other things that you also credit for your growth and confidence?
I would say personal development. I would say reading. I would say my spirituality. I would say praying. I pray like all the time. I listen to K-Love. I really am very adamant about what I allow in between my ears. I don't watch the news. And let me just tell you how hard that was when I taught like current events and when I taught history, and everybody's trying to like ask me about like all these terrible things that are happening in the world. And I'm like, guys, I mean, that's when I knew I had to leave teaching, when I'm like, I cannot talk about genocide again. Like I cannot talk about the Holocaust or, you know, Rwanda. Like it would, and I'm not saying that those things shouldn't be talked about, because they should, but it just shouldn't be talked about by me. You know, like it killed me, crushed me every single time I had to talk about, you know, awful things and people doing terrible things to each other. But yes, so the question was, PD was huge for me. Podcast, I'm sure you guys have the podcast app on your phone, but Entree Leadership is one of my favorites. I mean, of course, I love Chalene Johnson, but what I would say is, you know, you also have to think about what your personal needs are. You know, I knew that confidence was an area I needed to improve on. So I had to kind of go a little bit more all in on the confidence piece. But now I'm recognizing that I need to go a little bit more all in on Instagram, or like building my business page, or like my website, or, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to be more specific on what type of PD I'm doing. Another great book was Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Do I have that one over here? Yeah, that one's a fantastic book that I highly recommend. But K-Love, No News, and then my podcast is constantly, and then inspirational music when I'm working, like Last of the Mohicans type music. So those were my secrets to kind of changing myself from the inside.
I love that. Okay, how do you communicate that Success Club is non-negotiable to your team? So in other words, how do you encourage Success Club on your team without overwhelming people or shutting them down? How do you guys go about encouraging Success Club for your team?
You know, we talk in real general terms, like, you know, we kind of take out the fact that it's SC points. I mean, they know what, you know, Success Club points are, but we talk about like the 3 Lives Club or helping 3 people, or we kind of put it more in terms of people specific. And we say it's easy. We say it's easy. It's very easy to hit Success Club, because the moment you start saying that like things are hard, like it's really hard to get to Diamond or it's so hard to get to Emerald, then people think it's hard. But if you say, guys, Emerald's a choice, you sign up your husband, you sign up your sister, boom, you're done. You know, or you say Diamond's a choice. It's just, you just decide it, you make a decision and you go for it. And it doesn't become hard anymore. So we had to kind of shift and look at Success Club as being, it's not hard. If you want to work this business, it's really not difficult to add 3 new customers each month. If you are adding 3 to 5 people to your network every day, whether it's through, you know, the people you may know feature, or however you grow your network, it's very possible to hit Success Club. Now, there may come a month when you're like working really hard on that very last day of the month and you get it in right at the, you know, nick of time, but you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And especially if you go with the Beachbody flow and you promote kind of like what is hot that month, and you kind of, you let the launches kind of, you know, help guide your ship a little bit with hammer and chisel. I mean, we got to be talking about hammer and chisel now, because when it is released, we want to be ready. You know, same thing I did with Insanity Max 30. You got to build up the launches and the releases. And, but that's how we encourage. We also sometimes we'll do like an incentive, like I'll do incentives with my PS coaches, that sort of thing. But now I feel like Success Club is almost an easier thing to convey as being important, because now all your leads are tied to that. Whereas before, your leads weren't tied to that. So like even people who weren't working the business, as long as you were Emerald, you were getting leads. Well, now they're tied to Success Club. You can only get leads if you hit Success Club 5. And so that to me is what makes it definitely more desirable for new coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. The customer leads is a great point. Okay, so looks like might be our final question. Okay. We have some folks who are, I think I've mentioned to you before, interested in pursuing this as a full-time option in the future. So given that you were waking up at 4 a.m. and, you know, going to school all day long as a teacher and then working your business, and you're also a mom, how did you manage your time while doing all those things? Like, what was it that you were able to do, or how did you go about, you know, prioritization and time management during that sort of season of your life?
Well, I used my pockets of time. And this is something I spoke about at the training at RevX, is I knew that I had to get an hour in somehow, some way. And my big chunk of time would come in the morning, but like people aren't awake at 4 a.m. So like I wasn't like having conversations with people at 4 a.m. in the morning. That was like me doing my challenge groups and maybe creating lists, like to-do lists or like invite lists, or, you know, maybe communicating with my team and things like that in the morning, and doing my morning motivation. And I had my coffee every day and it was wonderful. I loved that time. But then throughout different pockets of the day, I would maybe check in with my challenge groups. Like maybe if I had a few minutes on my prep or something, I would check my challenge groups and maybe look at the back office. So, I mean, I did all of the behaviors, but I didn't necessarily do them all at the same time throughout my day. And, you know, I had a lot of working lunches, and I know I talked to Tara about this too. I mean, you know, sometimes you just make the decision that you're not going to be social that day. I mean, or ever. I know that sounds terrible, but, you know, I had to make sacrifices, and I had to recognize that. And I've talked to Chris about this before too. You know, I had to change the way I looked at my day job. I still was the best teacher that I could be for my students, but I didn't have to come into work an hour early every day. I didn't have to stay an hour late every day. I had to kind of make decisions, and I had to say like, okay, it's probably not in my best interest to like assign 150 essays tonight, you know, and collect them tomorrow. Like I had to be strategic in my approach. But then sometimes, you know, grades are due and that's what you have to do. And you have to make sacrifices, but I use pockets of time, and that would be, I guess, my answer. I mean, I would work from, you know, I have a daily to-do list here that I keep in front of me, and I would just be like, check, 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 check. I worked from a list. I worked from a planner. I mean, I talked to a gal at leadership, and she's like, no, I don't have a planner. And I'm like, what? How can you live? Like, I mean, well, Natalie, one of my Star Diamond coaches, she didn't have a planner for the longest time. And I'm like, I do not know how you're breathing right now. Like, seriously, I mean, I wrote everything down. I have Post-it notes everywhere. That's what I did. But I would recommend for you guys, I don't know if you use the power of threes. Have you guys? Yeah, that is amazing. Because what that's going to do is it's going to create your daily habits, but it's also going to help you create that system of tracking, which I find that a lot of times that can be a difficult thing for people to grasp early on, is that's just the importance of the system of tracking, because people think, I'll remember it. No, you won't. You won't remember it. You got to track it.
Yeah. I think it's really, really for me, even when I was working it's been a while, but when I was working my full-time job, I really had to be intentional about, like if I only had an hour, how was I really going to focus in that hour? Like, how was I really going to narrow it down to specific tasks? And so it's like you said, creating a list and knowing exactly what you're going to do the day prior. Katie, I can send you the document as a refresher for Power of Threes. Okay, so
of threes, do you have the one? Let me show you the one that I have, Jenny. And if you don't have the exact specific one, because this one has some additional things on it.
Oh, well, yeah. If you want to send that to me, I have the one that Julie gave me. No, that's not the one I have.
Okay, I'll send you this one because
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And
so one more thing I wanted to say, only because I know that we have some school teachers on here, and I thought this was cool because I heard you say it to Chris. I think you said it to Chris during one of the sessions at leadership. And I'm going to speak for him just briefly. I know he's on here, but he tends to really be like an overachiever as a teacher. So he really tries to make sure that the labs that he's assigning and doing in class are really going to be good and really, emphasize the topic at hand. And he really wants to make sure that the kids are tested in the perfect way. And everything is very meticulous as far as making sure that he's doing the absolute best. And it's not that I don't want him to do the best, but I think you said something really powerful, which is you said, especially when it comes to students, they will remember how you made them feel, but not necessarily what you told them. You've heard that quote before, people don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. And I think that's really cool, because when you said that, I literally started thinking about my teachers that I had growing up. And I really can only point to like one or two specific activities that we did that were fun. Most of the time it was, the reason I liked the teacher was more about how they related to me and what I got from our relationship. So I just wanted to throw that in case it speaks to anybody too, because I know that was something I overheard you say to Chris, and I thought that was really powerful. So.
Yes. And, along those same lines as just by design, because of who we are as people, we want to be the very best at what we do. And whatever it is that we're doing, we want to put our all into it. But sometimes especially if you're trying to move out of one profession and into another, you can't put your all in both. So you need to kind of decide, okay, in me being my teacher that was not working at my very best is like the next teacher's very best day of their life, right? So we have to decide where we're going to put our energy, and we have to recognize that we can't be the best every single thing that we do all day long. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because that was something I had to decide in my mind. Like, I had to recognize, like, I don't have to rewrite all this, or I don't have to reinvent the wheel, or I don't have to, grade everything meticulously or create this, oh my gosh, over the top. Those kids are in there and they're enjoying my class because of me and because of how I'm making them feel, not because of all these extras that I'm, throwing into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, we've officially used an hour of your time, and I'm so appreciative because you just rocked that call. So I'm so glad I pressed the record button. I'm going to upload it to our Body Electric YouTube channel so that our coaches can refer to it often. So thank you so much for hopping on here. I'll send you a copy of the link as well in case you want to send it to your team. But if you don't mind sending me the Power of Threes updated document, then I will share that as well. So thank you guys so much for being on here. Hopefully you got something great from Erika. Make sure to shout her out and tell her thank you. And I will see you. When am I going to see you? We don't have lunch plans, so we'll have to make them.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Erika.